Hi, I'm Jessica Nettles. I'm going to be doing a reading from my upcoming novel, Children of Menlo Park. I hope you will enjoy it. Dear Samuel, I write with great concern and hope that you, my friend, can help me in this time of need. I have made some decisions which put me in grave peril, the likes of which I cannot explain in this time or place. An airship will arrive in Hartford on the 8th. You must be ready to come aboard when it docks. Once you arrive, I will explain everything. Nicola. Samuel Clemens had many friends, but none of them had managed to cure his digestive problems till Nicola. He met his Serbian friend at the local gentlemen's club in New York. Sam mentioned his ongoing intestinal distress, and Tesla said that he had just the thing to cure it in his lab around the corner. A bit of vibration and you will feel better, said the Serbian. Sam was fascinated with inventions and scientific advancements, so Tesla's statement intrigued the author. He followed the young man to his lab, where he placed Sam on a metal plate. Then the scientist flipped a switch from across the room. Sam's entire body relaxed for the first time in maybe a year, as the plate began to vibrate and the air hummed around him. He closed his eyes and enjoyed what felt like the best massage he'd ever had. When I tell you to step off the plate, Samuel, do as I say, said Nicola, his voice spiking just above the ongoing vibration. The author sunk into peaceful, comfortable thoughts that blanketed his mind, and the tightness in his back let go. Sam wasn't sure how long he'd been on the plate, but didn't care. He heard someone in the distance say something like, "Now, get off now so nothing terrible happens." Nothing terrible could happen. This is, before Sam could finish his languid thought, it happened. His eyes widened, and he ran for the door, not caring that his white suit was ruined. Nicholas started laughing and pointed to the back of the lab and the latrine in the alley. His new friend had cured him, and after that, Sam supported the young scientist even in his maddest moments. He was privy to many of the inventions his friend had developed. Some seemed for the greater good, while others were toys. Or that's how Sam took them. Sam was sure that Edison and Westinghouse may just be outstripped by the inventor if they kept bickering long enough. Time would tell. When the telegram came, Sam was a bit surprised. He wondered what sort of peril Tesla was in, and if it had anything to do with that Edison fellow. As he entered the house, he called out, "Livy, I'm going to go see Nicola." She came down the stairs and glared at him for a minute. Then she said, "More drinking and playing with dangerous toys?" He handed her the telegram and said, "No, he's in trouble this time, Liv." "Probably from drinking." "Yes, probably from drinking. Nevertheless, he is my friend and has asked me for help. I am obligated to bring him more of that Four Roses. Get into trouble with him? You can't keep doing this, Sam," she said, following him upstairs where he began to pack his bags. As he packed, she took out his shirts and folded them in that neat way he could never manage. "If I led a sedate life, you'd love me a whole lot less," he said, with a grin and a flourish of his ever-present cigar. "You may charm the audiences all over the world, but it won't work on me. A sedate life means you'll live longer," she said, snatching the cigar from his hand. "Then again, you may not if you keep smoking in the house." "I can't charm you because you were charmed years ago, my love," he said, kissing her cheek. She turned away with that girlish giggle he'd found so delightful ever since they'd first met, and placed his shaving kit and an extra box of cigars in the bag. He grabbed her around the waist and she leaned into him. "If you insist on visiting your little friend, please promise that there will be no trouble. I worry," she said, adjusting his tie and smiling. He saw the worry in her eyes. "No trouble, I promise," he said, pulling her closer and crossing his fingers as he promised. She took his hands and pulled out of the embrace before he could uncross them. Irascible. "That does seem to be the final definition of who I am, my sweet." "Go on, you fuzzy old beast." He leaned down and kissed her gently. As he left the house, she said, "Telegraph when you arrive." He nodded and replied, I'll try. Both knew there was a good chance of this not happening. He glanced back at the gate and watched as she put her hands on her hips and